Welcome to the APL quest. See APL Wiki for details. Today's quest is the 6th from the 2016 round of the APL problem solving competition. We are to take a list of arrays, specifically a list of vectors or possibly scalars, and sort them by their length. The shortest ones are in the front and the longest ones at the end. This is really simple. Let's make some test data. Okay, so this is a list, or vector as we call it, and it has 6 elements. Let's try printing it. And we can see that there are some numbers that would have the length of 1, and then there are some strings in here that have the length of 2 and 5, 3 and 5. And then there's also a list of numbers which has length 4. And the way we get the length is by using the tally function. And it looks kind of like a tally mark you would make into a counting stick. But we don't want to tally D, because that will give us the number of elements in D. Instead, we want to tally each element in D. So we use the each operator, or higher order function, which is kind of like a map. So we are taking this function, which we are applying to each element of D. And here we can see the length. The number 1 has length 1, the word 2 has length 3, and so on. And now we can use this to grade. Grading is it's a very APL operation, really, but it's kind of like the more fundamental form of sorting. It doesn't actually reorder the elements, but rather it gives us the indices of elements as we would need to take them so that they should become ordered. But we're not doing the ordering quite yet. And this function exists like this because then you can use that information to sort something else, which allows you basically to sort some data by some keys, for example. So this gives us that if we want it to be sorted by this information, the length of each, then we first take element number 5. That's this empty string. And then element number 1, which is a number. And then element number 4, which is this number 4. Then element number 2, because it has length 3. And then element number 6, because it has length 4. And finally, element number 3, because it has length 5. And then we can use this information to index into D. So with square bracket indexing, which allows us multiple indices, and when we give it multiple indices, it just reorders the elements or picks out those elements in that order. That gives us this, and that's the result that we want. But this isn't actually a function that does the work, rather it's just an expression. We can change this into a function, an anonymous function, a lambda, by putting braces around it, and then denoting the argument with omega, because the argument goes on the right, just like all the other functions we applied so far. And the argument goes on the right, and omega is the rightmost character of the Greek alphabet. So we put omega instead of the d's, and this gives us a function. We can either apply it directly, or we can give it a name. So this is sort by length, for example. We use left arrow for assignment. Equal sign just means equality. So now we've given it a name, and we can then call it on D, and it sorts it correctly for us. And that's really all there is to it. Thank you for watching.